Hi everyone, greetings from National Skills Network. This is Madhuri, and as you may be aware from our YouTube channel, we have been talking to several professionals from training, skill development, education, higher education, and teacher education also. So today we are going to focus on teacher education, and I have with me Dr. Anuradha Sridhar, who's the head of training and curriculum development at Aditya Birla Education Academy. So welcome to this talk, Dr. Anuradha.
Thank you, Dr. Madhuri, and my pleasure to be on this network and understanding more about the Skill Development Forum in India. My pleasure.
Thank you. Teacher education, as we know, is a very important topic. And in India, we notice that for many teachers, it looks like, when they do a training program like a B.Ed program or any of these teacher education programs and they get a certificate, it looks like it all ends there. But we see that there is a need for continuous learning, upskilling, and also updating themselves about the changes that are happening around us. So could you please tell us more about the academy and what kind of work is happening in terms of teacher development?
I think you hit the bull's eye when you actually speak about that when you get a certificate and the training that's actually happened and teachers think that that's the end of the road. But actually that's just the beginning of the road, and it's a great question to begin with, Dr. Madhuri, because I think the pandemic actually changed the way we perceive teacher education, and we believe in upskilling, because I think that kind of started the road in terms of understanding and the teachers themselves understanding that there's a long way for them to go. And there were a lot of people and a lot of work similar to what Aditya Birla Education Academy does for teacher upskilling. They started and paved the way in terms of various kinds of topics, and the whole recognition came in that there's so many ways in which teacher can upskill themselves. So just to begin and give you a brief idea about our journey so far, we started in 2018. And the entire idea behind putting up with Dr. Nija Birla and all of us at Aditya Birla Education Academy was that when we have schools which are progressive schools and we hire new recruits from the most progressive B.Ed colleges, there's still a need for a teacher handholding and upskilling. So the best of the candidates, we feel that they need to be a shadow teacher for about a year. They need a lot of upskilling, even in terms of, you know, communicating to parents, communicating to students in the rightful manner. So we really felt a gap out there, and thereby the journey to teacher education began. And it's been a great journey of upskilling and a great learning curve for all of us out there, because post that rapidly the scenario changed. There was of course a pandemic stuck, and everybody rushed towards understanding and upskilling themselves. And now with the NEP 2020 also set up, there's a need and for all of us to reflect and to look back to saying, are we really doing the right things, and ask the questions that are our classrooms really there projecting for the future. So teachers need to ask themselves these questions, and therefore we need to take that forward and understand. So most managements, most teachers now know that there are gaps existing. They are more cognizant towards the fact that there are gaps within the system, and we need to kind of plug in these gaps. A very conscious effort is now going on in schools, in governments, whether it's high-end schools, and it's now that the teachers recognize that there is a gap. Let me understand how I can plug in those gaps and then move forward. So like Elvin Toffler always says, the educated are the ones who need to unlearn and then learn themselves. We are at this phase of teacher education wherein we need to kind of unlearn what we know or undo whatever systems we are doing and then move forward. So to come and put together the work that we do at ABA is we work with governments, we work with private sector schools, and we work also in the space of individual teachers and upskilling themselves in terms of short professional development courses.
Okay. You mentioned very important words like unlearning. I think that's so important in a teacher's life, because when somebody becomes a teacher, the whole idea is, look, I'm teaching and I know it all. Okay. So, where is the need for me to unlearn? Now, when I look back ages ago, I was also into some kind of a teacher development program. And today, if I'm asked to deliver the same course, I think that program, what I attended, is absolutely irrelevant, because so many things have changed, right? And I think that change is what you're trying to capture through upskilling, like you mentioned, the gaps and other things. So, could you please tell us a bit more about specifically about the programs you offer? Like, what kind of programs are there, and how does it help the teacher in improving his or her career?
Absolutely. So I think you rightfully mentioned that what I had done about a few years back, and today, if I try to fit in that, it's just not the same in
Yeah.
terms of teacher upskilling. The same course doesn't work. And believe you me, when I say that if I have a workshop topic, say for example, classroom management or active teaching strategies, and I say, oh, I have a topic, let me just go and conduct the workshop tomorrow in terms of a teacher upskilling. No, it just doesn't work there. So, you know what we're talking about? The one size fits all kind of an approach doesn't work everywhere. Because so if I move away from even a metro city like Mumbai to about a hour away to Kalyan and Thane, the requirements for school purely depends upon the culture of the school, the practices that we are talking about in that current setup. So I need to modify my topic basis of the needs of the school and then relate it to the teachers out there. So the training specifically needs to fit into the requirements, the current existing practices of the school, understand what the gaps are and deliver. And that's where, as Aditya Birla Education Academy, we kind of take the pride in terms of understanding the gap scenario, understanding, having worked with schools across, whether it's government schools, CBSE, or progressive schools or an international school, we understand their needs to be able to suggest workshop topics, even the content within the workshop topics. So we have a range of programs, if I may put it, wherein we work with schools and governments for year-long capacity building for the teachers and upskilling. Here we do an in-depth gap analysis, understanding the gaps of the teachers with baseline and endline tests. So we're talking about a complete impact generation. So it's
Hmm.
about 20 hours of upskilling, then upskilling. Along with that, we kind of mentor the school principals to be able to go and carry out classroom observations and see what the changes are there. Is there the impact of the workshops being present in those you've done something on assessments and the teacher is still going on talking about pen and paper tests where you have done a range of formative assessments to talk about the child's whole journey. So we mentor the principals to see the classrooms and observe them, and the feedback is to be more constructive in nature rather than critical in nature. So we're trying to build a classroom culture or the teaching learning culture where teachers are self-reflective about their practices. The lesson plan is just not say it's a plan on paper and teachers need to deliver. The lesson plans need to be iterative basis of student observations, student feedback, and then they kind of change it. So we're trying to create a little bit more flexible classroom domain wherein it's basis of the needs of the students. So
Yeah.
we have a full range of capacity building, both for government projects. We are working with the BMC, that is the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation teachers. We are working with the Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, which is a project in Marathi. We're calling this as Project Samar.
Hmm.
Samar, basically, it's itself means that you are making somebody stomach in taking this upwards, so it's a movement upwards. So these are two municipal school projects that we are working with, and we call this as capacity building. Same way, we're working with a large chain of schools, which is also a capacity building, wherein we train completely, say, all the physics teachers. There are about 50 or 56 physics teachers from 9 to the 10th standard. So physics teachers, we're talking about active teaching learning. So we talk about active teaching strategies, very specific to how you can look at physics teaching, or how would you integrate social sciences along with arts and science and take it forward. So these are very innovative ways in which we are trying to upskill teachers for a year-long program. We have about a laundry list of about 90 topics for teacher upskilling,
Mm.
and these facilitators are experts from their areas. So these are programs that I'm talking about, Dr. Madhuri, in terms of working with large schools or groups of schools and individual schools. Now, if you look at individuals as teachers, we began talking about individual teachers when we talked about the pandemic and how individual teachers have kind of taken their upskilling themselves. There's a greater awareness about upskilling. So we run a range of programs for individual teachers. One is one which is very close to my heart, wherein I have developed the program myself, is a short-term program, very short-term program, just for 36 hours. We call it as an advanced certificate in education. Teachers who are having 0 to 5 years of experience and want to upskill themselves.
Yeah.
We have another course called as the Postgraduate Diploma in Global Education.
Mm.
Now, this course is a 1 year long course, and there are people who are like IT professionals or somebody from a banking sector wanting to make a switch at the age of, say, 40 or 45, would not like to make 2 years in a B.Ed program. They may not want to invest at this point in time in a B.Ed program. So we have this postgraduate in global education, postgraduate program in global education, which is in partnership with the B.K. Birla College and Mumbai University. And we have run it for 2 batches now, and the next academic year will start in 2023. But the feedback for the program has been very, very gratifying for us, because we, at the end of the day, want to make a difference in the classroom, in the learning outcomes that we see in our classrooms. So this program has been so fulfilling, because participants come back to us and tell us that, ma'am, we used this strategy which was done, and this was done at this point in time in this module, and we are looking at it in this manner. So this is a completely online program, which just requires about say about 30 hours of investment per month in terms of your time and the whole thing. And participants can take it at the combination of a weekday, and they can look at it over a weekend too. So this is being a very satisfying journey in terms of looking at the postgraduate diploma in global education. The
Yeah.
the third program that we look at it, and another wonderful thing, is a certificate course for school leaders.
Okay.
Okay, so the certificate course is for school leaders. Uh, People do not look at it. Most institutions that offer are management institutions who offer leadership programs. Now, but you need to know the school scenario. A school scenario is quite different from what you see in MBA colleges or corporate sector. School is dealing with a lot of human beings and human interaction. So you need to know it from a very human perspective. So the school leadership we offer in 2 ways. One is on strategic school leadership, which is meant for principals, trustees, and the management. The other is on instructional leadership, which is more from an academic perspective, which
Yeah.
is offered to, say, somebody who's an academic coordinator or the heads of department or as a section head. So these are the two variations of the leadership program that we offer for school leaders. The last of the programs that we offer
Yeah.
is on gifted learning. So, we have a tie-up and partnership with the Renzulli Center. If you've heard of Dr. Joseph Renzulli, he is a father of gifted learning. And today, what is happening is in most schools in India, we are not able to recognize gifted students.
Mhm.
So the gifted students are, again, they're treated on the same lines as any other individual students. So this is again a short-term 2-month program, which we call it as a school enrichment model, and we work with teachers to be able to understand, recognize gifted students in your classroom, and how could you kind of create teaching programs to deal with gifted learners.
Yeah, that was a very comprehensive description of the programs. And for our viewers who would be interested to know more, they can visit the website of the academy and get in touch with you. So my last question to you would be the impact of technology, particularly the post-COVID scenario. How has it made a difference, let's say, in the perception of technology, blending technology and adoption of technology by teachers? Has it made a difference to the way you are offering these programs as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think technology has been a great eye opener for post the pandemic. So today one sees ways in which one can say, oh, I can see this recording later. I haven't missed it out. So there's a lot of openness towards using technology. There's a lot of welcoming ways in which technology is being used in the classroom. And what's happening is, if you actually realize, we as teachers are the technology immigrants. We
Mm.
did not know it, whereas the students were very native. And today a teacher is very open to say, come on, please help me. The student is most welcome. They are able to accept the fact that
Yeah.
we are immigrants to the whole process. Students know much more than us, and that openness has actually made it bridge a lot of teacher student relationships also.
Yeah. I think it's a very positive trend that we have seen over the last 3 years, especially in terms of technology adoption. So, besides these points, is there something else which you would wish to share with our audience?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think we as teachers and we as a nation, with both the NEP coming up, the changes coming up, the hope that, we are looking for a really futuristic India in terms of how our classroom should look like. We are on a great learning path as teachers, and we must continue and look at changes in our classroom. We should no longer look at being the sage by the stage out there. We must more look at a facilitative mode, because there's chat GPT, there's too many changes that are coming up in as far as technology is concerned, and we must adapt to those changes to make our classrooms more future ready. So we are very hopeful for a great new changes in the anvil in our classrooms.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I think what is most important and what we have picked up with this from this conversation is the kind of individual focus you attach to the programs you offer, whether they are workshops or any of the short-term or long-term programs. I think that's what is needed to, attract every teacher, to make them realize that there are some gaps, and then they have to kind of understand the system holistically, wherein you beautifully brought in the administrative angle as well of the school, and also how they have to keep themselves updated. Yes, chat GPT is definitely, I think, going to make a huge difference in the way we are doing things today, and I think that's where the challenge lies for us to take it positively as some new technologies that are coming in, and prepare ourselves. So on that note, thank you so much, Dr. Anuradha, for giving us your time today and sharing your insights and also information about the programs from Aditya Birla Education Academy. And for our viewers, in case you are interested to know more, you can always reach out to the academy and check out the courses, and also see if your teachers would be, interested to enroll in these programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Madhuri. Pleasure speaking to you.